Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We are a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me, as always, is
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What up, Khalid?
What up, Joe?
I am. Hey, just do my thing. How are you?
I'm good. I officially started meal prepping this week, aka cooking.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I know that doesn't seem like a big deal to most people, and it isn't, but I am a man child, so I actually like had to stop and think about it today. I haven't cooked for myself, like legit cooked, in like 2 years. I've made like little things that like you just like, like there's stuff I don't count as cooking, like I technically don't count like eggs, like if I make myself like eggs in the morning, I don't count that as cooking. That's just like such a easy one step thing to do. But like I like legit cooked today and it was bad. Not not like
stepping stone.
It was edible. I can stand by that. It was edible. But yeah, I've got a long way to go before I can like really start flexing my culinary chops. But in the Voltron of adult things that I need to assemble to make myself feel a little bit more proud of my day to day, I'm getting that arm that is cooking attached. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. What did you cook, if I might ask?
Okay, so this is another reason why my thing might not have been as good as it could have been. It was basically like one of those like I didn't have like a recipe so much as I had like the steps of a TikTok video.
Right.
And it was like a 2-minute TikTok video, and this was like one of 4 in like meals that they showed in that 2 minutes. So like I basically had to just like keep rewinding this like small 15-second bit and like seeing all of the, because like they did like the overhead thing where they like put like all these ingredients on a chopping board and then they show you like the steps or whatever. But like I literally had like a 15-second clip that I had to like keep going back over and like seeing what the measurements were and seeing like what the portions and like how long you're supposed to heat it up. And admittedly, there was probably a better template I could have found to try cooking again for the first time in 2 years, but they made it look so easy in the video, and I wanted to believe it was that easy.
Yeah, I can't imagine why that didn't turn out great.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, to answer your question, it was it's like chicken tenders, like baked chicken tenders with sweet potatoes and asparagus, and then there's like this like little sauce that you make with like balsamic vinegar and white wine vinegar and lemon juice and some other things. And surprisingly, the sauce was good. I thought the sauce would suck, but like the chicken was good. I was extra paranoid with the chicken because the video, I'm proud of myself for not just blindly following the video in this part. They didn't give me nearly enough time to bake the chicken, so like I kept it in there longer, and so it turned out really good. The thing that I somehow just botched was the asparagus, which turned out gross. So everything else was edible. It was just like it didn't look good, but it was fine to eat. And the only thing I wish I'd done better was the asparagus. So if I'm being generous, I'd give myself like a C+.
Yeah. Well, hey, baby steps. And you know what? Fun fact, asparagus makes your pee smell weird. So it's really on the asparagus.
Dude, I had that food like not even like 2 hours ago. Well, now 2 hours ago, but within 2 hours of like eating it and going to pee, it already smelled bad. I was like, props to asparagus. It gets in your system quick.
Makes fast work of the pea. Yeah. It takes it, claims it, and makes it its own.
Yeah. So I'm going to eat that meal 3 more times this week. So
yeah, no, meal prepping is great. I mean, it's satisfying when you're successful with it, and it makes you feel like a productive member of society in a sense,
No, definitely. I feel very mature. It was only like an hour and a half of my day to do it, and now I've got food for the rest of the week. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just, I like I've subsisted off of like Uber Eats and stuff like that for so long, and it's just been such a bad habit and like such a waste of money. I finally like last month just like deleted it from my phone, but like I was still like eating out a lot and just spending money I didn't need to, and like I've just been working up the nerve to get to meal prep. So I will keep you and the listeners appraised as this noble endeavor continues. Hopefully I get really good with cooking. I feel it in my bones. I feel like, I'm a big boy. So like big boys have a sense of taste that like I want to harness it and be a decent cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like. So anyone listening, tweet your recipes at FrankenPod. Yeah, FrankenPodcast at FrankenPodcast, the Twitter handle.
Is it Franken Podcast? It is.
It's Franken Podcast, not now Franken Podcast. Yeah. So tweet your recipes at us. Khalid, if somebody were to be listening to this episode and the episode prior to this, I would bet that some people might be, it'd be fair to assume that they might think that we're at like an HGTV podcast. We're just talking about like home and cooking and stuff. Like what, like that? Your water thing last time, and now it's like
you mean my soda stream?
Soda stream, sorry, yeah, your water thing.
Still going strong. I'm on the first tank. I'm on the first tank of CO2 still. That thing is pumping out crispy, sparkly water. Yeah. No,
brought to you by SodaStream.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like this is what aging does to you. The things that get you excited are arguably really lame, but hopefully we have an age appropriate audience for the most part that is also hyped about things like soda streams and meal preps.
Yeah, if we haven't lost half the audience at this point already. We'll see.
I've been trying. I've been trying to just have it. We have too big a following, if you ask me.
We do. Yeah, the dozens of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the Never Nudes. There are dozens of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Khalid?
What?
I don't know. I was trying really, really hard to think of a transition segue, and I just fell flat.
This is like the easiest part of it to segue. It's just starting the show. Like all the segues.
Oh, yeah. You know what happens when you fall flat sometimes?
What?
Some might say you died hard.
That's okay. All right. I'm gonna give it to you just so we can move on.
That was a good one. I worked on that, and you interrupted thinking I was being real there, and I was working it, and I got you going there. So, and you know what else? Dies hard. Our man Bruce Willis, because he's in the movie Die Hard.
Oh, is that what he's from?
Yep.
Is that what
he's
that's
in that
about?
movie.
I thought you were just saying the common phrase "die hard" apropos of nothing.
Nope, talking about our man Bruce Willis. You know what? We're going to be talking about a movie today, Khalid, that some might say is the Die Hard of monster movies.
No one would say that.
Some might.
Find one person on this entire planet. I'm giving you 1 out of 7 billion people to try, and no one will say that.
Well, the odds are that you can prove otherwise. So will you explain to the listeners what we're talking about?
All right. Today we're talking about the 2020 science fiction action film directed by John Suits. And we've got a little synopsis from our homeboy Google. It goes a little something like this. Fleeing a devastating plague on Earth, an interstellar ark comes under attack from a new threat, a shape-shifting alien force intent on slaughtering what's left of humanity. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.
What a monster.
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
You also never give us a title.
Oh, Breach. We're talking about the 2020 science fiction film Breach. Should I just run it back, or are we good?
We're good.
All right. I don't care. Let's get into it. I'm putting as much effort into this whole episode as they did into the movie.
Well, if that wasn't a preview for it, Khalid, what'd you think of the movie?
Oh, man. Like, I wanted to like something about it. I wanted to, but it was so jarring and it's like, okay, so like, you know what a B movie is. The listeners know what a B movie is. Like I would say Beastmaster, one of our earliest episodes was a B movie. We've done things in that.
A lot of our things are B movies. Like Chud's a B movie.
Chud, Pumpkinhead, like there we have B movies. And basically like the qualifier for a B movie is just like a schlocky, clearly lower budget, usually a genre type of like affair that just doesn't have like that many big name, if any big named actors in it. And those are fun. They're more often than not, they're fun. There's something I like about them. Like it's your Sharknadoes. It's all of those like types of movies. But this was like, I don't know, like a D movie. Like it doesn't even pass that bar for me, dude. Like I really tried to find something I liked about it. And it was just like, I don't know, man. It didn't feel like anybody cared about the movie they were in. And it was just a bummer to sit through in a lot of ways. What about you?
Well, I mean, I'm some thoughts. Just a disclaimer or preface before we dig further into this. We found ourselves with an open kind of episode slot that we hadn't really planned out, and we decided it might be fun to tackle this movie since Bruce Willis was kind of recently in the news, announcing that he's retiring from acting because he was diagnosed with aphasia, and so respect to our man Bruce Willis. He's done a lot of great stuff. He's done a lot of not great stuff, but we thought it might be fun to just check out something he did in our wheelhouse, the monster world. And I don't know, Khalid, is this his only monster movie? I just knew it was recent. He hasn't done other monster movies, has he?
I don't know, man. Like,
I don't really think he has.
You're talking about a man with like 40 years of a filmography. He very well could have.
It's possible, but this is just the one that I guess I most recently remembered seeing mentioned places.
Yeah.
So we went with this movie. I had heard mostly negative things. I thought the trailer was okay and intriguing, but we thought it might be fun to tackle it. It may be, I think, the first one in Frankenstein podcast history that we lean towards not liking. Which we tend to always find the positives in most movies and find that we tend to enjoy a lot of these B movies. But there is a lot that wasn't great about this one. And I'm going to say, Khalid, that I think I will go out on a limb and I say I don't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as you. I don't think I hate it as much as a lot of critics. I think there are elements that there are bits that I liked. I'll say that. There are some things I liked. But it is
right. There's bits to like because this is the Frankenstein of movies. Like it's so clearly like they had a very limited amount of time with Bruce, which fair, aphasia aside, the man is an A-list celebrity. Like he probably only gave you exactly the amount of time he was contractually obligated to. So, and it's very clear watching this movie. A lot of it is just like, his scenes that they managed to shoot in light decently, and then if they had time in the day, whatever they could get in terms of reactions from other people. Like there are so many scenes where it's just cut to Bruce, cut to somebody else, cut to Bruce, because there's no way that Bruce was going to sit there and just like let somebody else read their lines while he didn't do anything. So I get it in that sense. Like the movie basically lived and died on the edit, but it died. I don't know what else to tell you.
But it died.
Like there are movies like that where like so much of it comes down to what you can stitch together in the edit. And this was just, oh man. And I don't like, there are things that I dislike about it outside of Bruce's performance, which honestly not that bad, all things considered. Like
I was gonna say, I wasn't disappointed with it. Like a lot of his like, for lack of a better term, direct to video or like these low budget, like non-theater movies that he's been doing lately. He kind of phones it in and I don't feel like he necessarily entirely phoned it in here. I don't think he gave it his all per se, but I think he seemed like he had fun in certain parts.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that the smart thing they did was basically just let him play like John McClane's space janitor.
Yeah.
Which, that's his wheelhouse, just like a smarmy dude that is also just inexplicably going to survive an entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun, and they gave him like basically all of the comedic parts. I don't think anybody else was allowed to be
Yes.
funny. So like in a lot of ways, like just anytime you cut to him, it was a breath of fresh air from like this way too self-serious movie with like a ludicrous premise. Yeah, I just wish that there was a little bit more of that like kind of gonzo goofy Bruce Willis energy in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, they had a tone problem for sure. And I think that for anyone who hasn't watched this movie yet, which is probably plenty of people, if you've seen Alien, if you've seen The Thing, if you've seen Pandorum, you've probably seen this movie. If you've seen any combination of those three movies, you've seen this movie. It's very derivative of all of those in some manner. And even a little bit, I would almost say a little bit of The Running Man from Arnold, because there was this throwaway line about how Bruce used to be an elite Marine, but refused to fire on protesters. So now he's suddenly a janitor. Remember that?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was jarring.
It was like,
yeah.
I also think it's funny that like he's basically a cop that was demoted to janitor.
Yeah. Was he? It's like, I feel like they're saying like he just got a job as a janitor after getting fired.
Well,
like, is it part of the military?
That makes even less sense, because
I don't know.
This seems like, okay, first of all, this is supposedly like the super like exclusive arc that's going to take the last round of like people they're going to take off of Earth before Earth is like destroyed by a plague. And so like it seems like this like highly coveted thing, and all we see are just like grimy, grubby people, and then like all the rich folks are like, I guess, or I don't even know if they're rich. I don't know that they explained it that much, but like everybody else that made the cut is just in cryo, and it just it did not make any sense. Also, why were they all white? Like they were all white. It was weird.
I noticed that too. Like there was a lot of opportunity for them to have had not white people there. They
like
never took any of those opportunities.
I don't know. Like for me, it's just like there's got to be more decent actors than they cast. You know what I mean? Like I get this was like a bad movie that they probably like it was probably a tax write-off for somebody. But they still could have probably cast like one or two decent people. I'm not even saying that like it would be decent non-white actors, but there's definitely decent non-white actors that would have like lined up for this.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. It was all just so confusing and bad, and it didn't really make sense like how you could even be a stowaway on something like this. Like the whole storyline about like stowaways getting on, it just feels like they never explained the internal logic of this ship of like, how do you not just have like an itinerary of people, and then if a person isn't on that itinerary, you boot them off? Like if you're an actual stowaway, like how did that dude just come on as a janitor? Did I miss that part? Because it feels like you would have to have like an ID, you'd be on some kind of registry, and he's just like, I'm a janitor.
I don't know if it was fully explained, but I feel like it might. So for those listening, the main protagonist of the movie is not Bruce Willis himself. He's sort of the side character, but he's definitely steals the spotlight. But it's a character named Noah, played by Cody Kearsley, I believe.
It is, yep.
Yeah, and so he's the protagonist, and he's like a stowaway who's dating the admiral's daughter. The admiral who's running the ship, his daughter, he got her pregnant, and he's with her, and she's in cryo.
Yeah, they literally fridged her. They literally fridged her. So for those of you,
although she survives,
yeah, fridging is basically this term for like a main character's love interest, typically in an action movie, who they bring them in there to introduce like stakes for the main character, but because they don't want to actually have a woman with agency and lines in the rest of the movie, they find a way to either kill her or just like take her out of the equation entirely. And it, like it's like putting them in a fridge, like for save them for later or whatever, like keep them cooled off.
Yeah.
They literally put her in a fridge Like they introduce her, they're like, oh, she's pregnant, and then she's just like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now, bye. And they like put her in an ice coffin, and then they wake her up for the last 10 minutes. It was,
Yeah.
I was like, ballsy in a movie that could use just like a little bit more like personality, like, or just any kind of anything to sink your teeth into. It's ballsy to take out like the one thing that like anchors this main character as far as like relatable wants or needs.
Right. I feel like they were trying to imply that maybe she had some sort of sway in getting him into the system in somehow.
I don't understand that either. They didn't explain it well.
No, they didn't. But like we see, like, I don't know, like he's at a computer or something and trying to. I don't remember how he's even. What was he even trying to do? He was trying to like figure out how to do it, how to be a janitor, but didn't know how to be a janitor. And Bruce is like, "You've never janitored before," you know?
In between swigs of the flask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, you've never been like the whole time. It's also just like, because the monster doesn't appear until like a good 30 to 40 minutes into the movie, which this is a 90-minute movie. That is way.
Well, honestly, the monster proper only shows up at the very, very end.
Sure.
But like the monster element, you're right, comes in. Yeah, it's a little ways into the movie.
It's like almost halfway into the movie, which is crazy when you consider how short the movie is to begin with. Which fine, whatever. It wasn't like the story really kicked into gear when he showed up anyway. So that's not even a complaint. But I say that to say, like, the first part of the movie is like weirdly just everybody is like paranoid of each other, and it doesn't really seem to go anywhere. At one point, like you mentioned, Bruce is suspicious of this dude, and then he finds out he's a stowaway. And then at another point, Noah, he does this a couple of times in the story. It's just like he just like creepily follows somebody and then peeks around like the corner of the hallway and like watches them do something. And so he's like following Bruce, and he sees him like carrying a tank of something, and he's just like, this guy's actually like a part of like a rebel group, which that was the first time we'd heard about the rebel group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just drop like all this like weird like world building stuff like in a really random, inelegant way.
Yeah.
So you find out that apparently there is potentially a contingent of people on this ship that is going to save humanity that don't want to save humanity. They want to blow up the ship, or like they're mad about the fact that not everybody gets to go. So they're going to blow up the ship. And so he thinks that Bruce Willis is a part of that. And then Bruce Willis and like a group of the people that work on the ship, like, capture Noah when he tries to like spill the beans, and they take him to a back room, and you think that they're going to make him drink like poison or acid or something like that. And then he tastes it, and it turns out that they're just making moonshine. Mm-hmm. They're making moonshine on the ship, which I'm confused why they have to. Like, it seems like they have access to weed. It seems like Bruce Willis has a never ending supply of alcohol because he keeps taking pulls from the flask. So why do you need? And it was not even like moonshine like we know it. It's like dumb space moonshine where it's like part of it's jet fuel. Did you catch that part?
Yeah, it was like jet fuel moonshine. It didn't make sense.
It's jet
that would
fuel,
kill you.
And then it's also this other material that's in the movie that's like literally acid. It's literally like, it's like you only need to put one. Like there's like a thing where he's like gotta get this extra strong cleaning solution, and he accidentally pours a bunch of it onto a metal surface. It eats through the surface, and then he looks on the back of the label and it says, oh yeah, only put 1 drop of this in water to use as a cleaning thing. Bruce is pouring that thing into the moonshine. Like, in what world are you able to make an alcoholic drink out of jet fuel and acid? It felt like cartoony in a way that the movie just doesn't really like lean into any other time. So it's just jarring. This movie, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, and we'll get into the monster, of course, in a little bit, but can we just talk about how this, like, it was like a reveal moment, like a light bulb where like, oh, acid kills it. It's It's like acid kills lots of lots of things.
That
right?
was so like they telegraphed the acid so early on, and
They really did.
and and then he actually uses the acid to kill one of the possessed people, which nothing else has been working up until that point. Bullets don't work, fire doesn't work. He manages to kill one with the acid and then forgets until he brings it up with Bruce, and Bruce is like, "Were you going to ever tell us? Were you ever going to tell
a good
us
point.
that works?"
Good point, Bruce.
Good point, but it's like the movie doesn't get to like point
It doesn't
that
justify
out.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the movie did a bad job there because it made us like follow a character like that's so unbelievably stupid that they would forget literally the only important information they have at that point. And then it's like, hey, genius, were you ever going to mention that? Yeah, were you? Were you going to mention it? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was weird. I feel like there's a couple other things that were weird to me. Like, and I don't know if this is just the guy who played Commander Stanley. His name is Timothy V. Murphy?
Yeah,
do you know him for other things?
He's in things. Like, was he in like an Avengers movie or something?
I don't know, but like every time he yelled, it was just jarring to me.
It sounded like it hurt.
Yeah, like I almost felt bad for him, and I don't know if that's just his voice. So I don't want to make fun of his voice.
It took me out of it too, though. I clocked that.
It really did. It was really interesting. I don't know what kind of thing he was trying to do in those moments, in those scenes. It was odd. I also want to point out Thomas Jane's like military accent. Like he did like an army voice, and Thomas Jane feels like somebody they got in the movie. They're like, oh yes, Thomas Jane's in our movie, but he's only there for like a day. Like Bruce Willis probably had a couple days, maybe.
Yeah,
but Thomas Jane had like a day, maybe less. He was there for very little.
He also gets fridged, except for like that cool heroic moment at the end,
which was weird. He was really close to him when he blew himself up too. Like, I don't know. That was odd. But he talked like he was like Tin Hood like that all the time.
He seemed ridiculously unbothered too when they woke him up. You know, because at this point in the movie, it's like the aliens have started possessing people, and they're basically like working their way through the ship and not taking people out. And Noah, the main character, makes it to Thomas Jane's cryopod and wakes him up, and he's like, we need your help, dude. Like the monsters are like taking over. Like it's a literal alien invasion on this ship. And he's like, all right, let's open the airlock or something. Like that's like one of the first thing he says after just being like woken up from an indeterminate amount of like space sleep and being told aliens, which this isn't like a sci-fi world where aliens are a regular occurrence. It's just, it'd be like if I woke Joe up from a deep sleep and was like, hey, aliens are overrunning the house right now. And he was like, cool, let's get the wood chipper going.
Yeah, that's probably my reaction, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but would it be your like reaction like without skipping a beat? Wouldn't you want like any more information than they gave him?
No, wood chipper's fine.
That's true. Every time I've woken you up, you go straight to wood chipper. It's weird. It only works in so many scenarios.
I mean, it's who I am at this point. So
that's true. You know yourself, know your worth.
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Thomas Jane. I don't know. Yeah, he did a little bit. In this movie. He was the admiral who was in charge of the whole ship, and apparently was buddies with Bruce Willis before he refused to fire on protesters. So that's pretty much all we get about. He's also the dad of Noah's girlfriend, right?
Yeah. To speak to the Bruce Willis thing, you mentioned earlier, I forgot to touch on it. That is the most realistic part of this, is a cop getting fired for not shooting on protesters. I was like, all right, points for that. That's a real thing I could see happening. It probably has happened. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, kudos.
I mean, it's the setup for the Running Man, though, with Arnold. Like, that's why he's in prison in that movie, is because he refused to fire on protesters in this like futuristic world.
I haven't seen Running Man, so I'll have to take your word for it.
You should.
I assume it's a much better movie.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get around to it. You usually make me watch those. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, other than that, like, it feels like every other character in this movie is just like fodder to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't, like nobody really, other than Stanley, like the main villain, like the guy that you were saying yells in a weird way.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody that's like worth talking about. It was kind of cool at the beginning when what is it, Shady and Blue? Those are the two guys, like the first two guys that get like possessed by the alien.
Yeah.
That shit was so stupid, dude. When he's just like, okay, so like the way the alien like kicks off this whole thing, it's been like, okay, so when I said that the whole alien plot doesn't really kick off until like 40 minutes in, that's kind of not true. Technically, we watch from the alien's point of view at like minute like 20, maybe 15, where we see from the point of view like the alien is watching everybody, and then like days pass. At some point they like do like a montage and it's just like, hey, we're halfway through the trip. So I guess that the alien just like was just taking in the sights up until then. And then it finally attacks the main the first guy, Shady, who's like, he's drinking a beer and he puts the beer down next to his foot and then he kicks the beer over by mistake. And the alien, which is like a little slug thing at this point, like slides into the bottle real quick before he picks the bottle back up. And then he drinks the bottle and the slug gets into him that way, which, Joe, I don't know, like, what kind of beer you drink, but like, could you drink from your beer bottle and not notice a slug that big had gotten into it?
Personally, I would probably notice it, but
you would 100% notice it. The slug,
I would notice it.
It's like half a forearm big, and it's a slug. I don't. If you, like it didn't like slip into his spaghetti and he accidentally like slurped it up. It's in a liquid and he drank it and he didn't think anything of it. So he's like the first one that gets like possessed in the dumbest way. Like it's not like an Alien or Prometheus or something where like it's just like it gets into your bloodstream and then it like turns into like it makes your body the host that way, like something cool and scientific. It's literally a guy doesn't know when he drinks slugs is how this whole thing kicks off. And then he like goes to hang out and like smoke weed with Blue, and all of a sudden he just like freaks out and is like just like rigid and like clearly possessed with something. And Blue's just like, "Yo, man, you're freaking me out." And he's like, "Just take a drink, dude. You just take a drink of water or whatever." And the dude's like, "Oh, must have just been heartburn." This part was actually pretty cool. He's like, "Oh yeah, that must have just been heartburn." And then he sits still for like 2 seconds and explodes. Like that was
that was actually a fun scene.
That was fun. That was fun. If you're like, it was edited horribly, like a lot of these scenes where like if like you have any kind of budget, you put it into watching this guy explode, but instead you got to like cut away and save it for like like it was shitty. But that was cool. I will say the way that I get kicked off was like goofy, dumb. It's the kind of thing where like I wouldn't even complain about it if the movie like leaned into how goofy and dumb it was. It just
they need more of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's just like taken as like this like credible threat, and it's stupid.
I
don't know. And then like there's nobody else I care about in the movie.
The only other one that I think came close was the doctor. I thought she was okay, but then she died so unceremoniously, really close to the end. Like she made it pretty far.
That was so like,
but it just gets hit. Yeah, she gets hit by the monster's claw.
Yeah, and I've been knocking the editing a lot, but like the directing can get it too. Mr. Suits, what the hell? That whole sequence was so confusing because like it seems like the alien is at the opposite end of the hallway. And they have like at least like a comfortable breadth of space. And then the doctor, she's like, "Come on, we gotta go." And then all of a sudden, like a tentacle like hits her, but the alien hasn't walked any closer, and they don't at any point show like what kind of a reach it had. It was all just like it was spatially confusing and dumb.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Yeah.
It was a dumb way for her to die for somebody who'd gotten a little bit to do and made it that far.
Yeah. Okay, so at the risk of just poo-pooing this entire podcast, I do have to ask you, what's your favorite Bruce Willis movie, or just one that you like think of fondly? Because I want to say something nice, since this is in like a way like in honor of Bruce.
It is, yeah, that's a good point. Let me reflect on that for a second. My favorite Bruce movie. I mean, I never had the attachment to like the Die Hard movies as I think a lot of people did.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is my favorite of the franchise.
I like it. I like those, but I don't know if they. Of course, that one's the best, I think. But
right, it's so good.
I know that they're just never like something I like. Really, always was like, I got to go rewatch Die Hard. Or I love the Die Hard movies. I never saw anything after 3, and I've heard that's a good choice, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I liked him a lot in Pulp Fiction. I thought he was good in that movie. I liked him in Sixth Sense. Was one of the movies I've seen. I saw him in when I was young. I feel like that was one of my first like big Bruce experiences when I was younger. So, I was 99. I was 9.
Yeah. You going with Sixth Sense?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else he's been in that was huge.
See, for me, it's Unbreakable. If you're doing the Shyamalan movies,
Unbreakable is solid.
Yeah. I don't know. Like for me,
you know what else is good? Lucky Number 11.
He is so good in Lucky Number 11.
He's so good in that movie.
The movie is too good. It's too cheeky in retrospect. Like it was great when when we were in high school. It was amazing. It was like in that whole like spirit of like movies that have a twist ending and stuff like that were like big back then. And it was fun and goofy, but like it was, I don't know. Like, it just felt like, what if like the creator of Gilmore Girls made a crime movie? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like way too quirky for anybody to sit through too many times. But
okay, go say what you're going to say, and now I know exactly what my favorite Bruce movie is, and I'm mad that I didn't think of it already. But you say what you're going to say.
I think overall it's got to be Pulp for me. He's just so good in Pulp Fiction, and it's crazy because like I love it because he isn't in the whole movie, and yet if like you put a gun to my head, he's the protagonist, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's technically like there is no protagonist. It's like a series of vignettes, and yet he anchors his part of the story so well, and like makes you invest in his character so much that I can't think of anybody else. Even Jules, the Samuel L. Jackson character, I don't consider a main character, even though like you can make more of an argument for him since the movie kind of starts and ends with him. I think of Butch, Bruce Willis's character, as like the guy to follow in that movie.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that and that's why I brought up Pulp Fiction, because I feel like that one really stands out as kind of a Bruce Willis movie. I mean, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie ultimately, but yeah, it's like a Bruce Willis vehicle in some sense. Yeah.
It was just, I mean, like most people in the cast of that movie, like it was just really good material, and they brought their all. And like it's one of those things. Like this movie sucked, but it doesn't do anything to tarnish his legacy. Like he's just
not at all.
He's cemented.
He elevates this movie, if anything.
Exactly. He definitely elevates this movie, and you don't even have to go that far back to like find another movie he was good in. Because I don't know. I don't know if it's a popular opinion or not, but I liked Glass, and he was great in Glass.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Okay, so what's your favorite now that you've had time to think?
All right, Khalid. It's not the first, not the second, not even the 8th, but the 5th Element.
Oh God! Why did you go up to 8?
I wanted to mix it up.
Really? There aren't 8 elements. There's not even 5 elements. The whole point is there's 4, and the 5th element is like the whole thing of the movie.
Yeah. The 5th Element, though. Luc Besson, Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich. Did I say that right? Jovovich.
You didn't, but I'm not going to
Gary
help
Oldman.
you. I'm not helping you.
Chris Tucker. Phenomenal movie.
Yeah. The opera, the blue alien opera chick.
The blue alien opera. Yeah, no, he's great. The interplay between Chris Tucker and Bruce Willis in that movie is so much fun. I am a big... he plays a very similar character to it that he does in a lot of movies, but it's just in this in this movie element, it's so much fun for me. Like the surly taxi driver just thrust into this like magical quest kind of thing.
Why the hell didn't we do that movie, Joe?
It's a great point, actually. Could have done that
You're
movie.
sitting there racking your brain trying to think of like any other movies that he's done with creatures in it, and then you say your favorite one.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get to it, but yeah, we should have done this movie.
Think of how much better this entire discussion would have been. Oh my god! Whatever. We're here. We saw the movie. Let's talk about the monster.
Let's talk the monster. I do want to say, okay, before we do monster, I want to say, I was going to try to say one nice thing about the movie in terms of the decisions that were made about how it was made. I think that I wanted to say that it was a nice choice to focus on the working class side of the ship. I thought that was cool. It was evocative of Alien. I liked that. I know they were trying to go for that. And I liked the contrast between the grimy sets that they were mostly in and the Apple Store aesthetic of the cryostasis chamber. And it showed, I feel like that was a cool, like, visual language way to show the class disparity.
Okay. Yeah, it did do that.
Yeah, I thought that was one thing that I thought it did kind of well in a sense of trying to pay homage to like Alien or something.
Oh, I will say one more thing. Not nice. Why did the ship?
Okay.
Why did the ship only have 2 bathrooms? That's just
Only 2 bathrooms?
Yeah, at one point the dude's like, there's only 2 bathrooms, which, like, sure, fine, that's good for the janitors, but like, I've been on planes with more bathrooms than that. This is a whole ass spaceship. What the hell?
Yeah, like, what if people had to wake up?
I don't like architecturally. Like, there were thousands of people on that ship, weren't there?
There were like 30,000.
That's insane to only have 2 bathrooms. Like that, I don't know. That can't be zoned, like whatever zoning regulation there is for something like that. You can't do that.
I think though they make the point, Khalid, that that regulations and a competent government are not like our current state of affairs are not prevalent in the society.
Oh, okay, fine. I do have something good to say. The villain or the surprise villain of the movie outside of the monster, because the monster is kind of just monstering. It's doing its own thing. It doesn't really ever be like, it never monologues about why it's doing what it's doing. The closest we get to that is apparently, and I might have missed this, but like somehow one of Stanley, the weird shouter guy's men smuggled the alien on the ship, but I don't know where he got it from.
I wrote down the dialogue there, so I was going to get into it.
Okay, so is that the monster section of this thing? Then we can just
let's monster.
Okay, let's monster. Let's get into it.
So going off what you're saying, the monster. So what we know about the monster is it starts off as like a slug goo thing, but ultimately like it's a parasite kind of virus that invades the host, the person. And essentially, I think the quote they said in the movie was, "Wears the body like a cheap suit." But inside it just liquefies the organs and sort of just uses the body to do what it needs to do. But we learn throughout the movie that the parasite element of it, the part that's going into bodies, is part of a larger hive mind. And so it essentially creates zombies to do tasks for the centralized, I guess you could say, intelligence version of it. So we don't know where... okay, backtrack. It's not necessarily a dumb, mindless zombie parasite, although the zombies kind of come off as mindless, but it does start trying to infect people with more clearance because it's trying to get to the reactor to try to overload it to get to New Earth faster, to infect everybody on New Earth. So its goal is to just kind of like it's kind of an instinctual goal, but it's sort of like intelligent in how it's going about it. Apparently, it's trying to just infect the human race, and so the terrorist group or whatever they are that smuggled it on are like people who think that humans had their chance and need to die, basically. So the dude who snuck it in,
I like that. That's the whole reason I was bringing it up, was I thought that villain motivation was like cool in that you don't see that very often in that, like, these like dystopia type worlds where like Earth is on its last legs and there's like an ark full of people that are going to try and survive somewhere else. And it's always like aspirational in that regard. And I really like that there's a contingent of humanity that's like, no, we don't get to do this to another planet. We literally,
Yeah.
we shirked every warning, every like opportunity to do good and to do right by ourselves on a planet that had everything we needed, and we bungled it. We do not get to do this to another planet. I will rather doom us all to extinction. Like, that's a cool point of view. Whether you agree with it or not, that's a super compelling point of view, and I wish the movie had more of that.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. The guy who brought him in was a character named Teak, played by Callan Mulvey, I believe his name is, but he's a big That Guy actor. You recognize him.
He was in Winter Soldier, I'm pretty sure.
I think he was.
He's one of the
he's
dudes
been in the
the
MCU.
elevator, like with Grillo.
Yeah, he's in a ton of stuff. Like he's a familiar face. But the quote that he says when we find out that he brought it back, they're like, "What's this from?" And he's like, "The experiments. We brought it back. Maybe it was here before the universe." And that's me doing his voice.
So he's gone back and forth to Earth and the other planet?
No, I don't know. That's all he says. We don't know. But he says the experiments, and Bruce is like, "What experiments? You guys made it?" And he's like, "No, it was probably here from before the universe." So they're implying that they actually don't know where it is. And I think they're trying to say that this group like found it to try to and was trying to find. I don't really know what they're trying to say, but they're trying to cast mystery on it. But I think the line of this, it was here before the universe, is to try to put a Lovecrafty spin on this, that this is some sort of like cosmic entity that's like bigger than us in that sense. You know what I mean?
I think you're giving this movie a lot of credit. That just
I am in a sense, but I think it's going with a Lovecraft answer is not hard. I would say. I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't know if they did it well, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
They did not. I can tell you if they did it well. They didn't.
No, but I do think that maybe that was in the mindset of going into this. I think that's what that line is meant to imply.
I don't know. It felt like they needed a way to explain it being on the ship, and like they found a cool way, but whatever priorities this movie had, it wasn't to be good, if that makes sense.
The priority was not to be good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like it feels like they had the opportunity to be a good low budget movie at a lot of turns, and they could have stripped the story down a lot more and just made it way more character based, but they decided to make it this like plotty, goofy, dumb thing.
They could have made it character based. They could have made it goofy, and they didn't choose any of those routes.
Yeah, they really didn't.
Yeah. And then we learn ultimately the parasites, the monster's weakness is acid, which we talked about earlier. That's one thing.
That's top 3. If you have acid, you try acid.
You try that right away.
That's a no-brainer, man.
Yep. No, for sure. I agree. The only part about the monster that I thought was cool at the end. So when we see the actual like monster creature element of it, not just the infected zombies. So Thomas Jane and his space marines try to kill the zombies, but they fail. So Thomas Jane blows himself up and takes out all the zombies. And he's like, "Oh, we're going to send you out in the airlock." But all the body parts start to like conglomerate and come together. And this both I thought was like a cool idea, and it made me a little bit mad because I wish they would have leaned into the body horror a bit more and shown more of it. But what we see, like just a glimpse of a couple body parts like coming together, and they somehow morph together to create like a creature, like a monster creature, and that's what we see coming down the hallway with like disproportionate angles and not quite sure like where it is spatially, but that's what we see. In the monster itself, the design was a choice. It was very bottom heavy. Did you feel like that too?
I did not know where you were going with that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it was bottom heavy. It looked like a spider to me. I don't know.
The bottom was like really large though, like, and the head was not as big.
Yeah, like a spider.
Kinda. Okay, maybe they're going for a spider. I didn't know. But
bottom heavy just seems like a sneak diss. It's super funny.
It was just an interesting choice. I liked the idea with it. I liked the idea. It's a conglomeration of body parts. I like that. That's creepy and weird and gross, and that's awesome. And there was one visual that I really, really liked when they were finally using, was it like, I don't know, they put like acid in their fire guns to make it like blue fire. Remember that?
Sure. Yeah, that's what that was.
I don't know what they were doing.
I don't.
But there was a shot that they did like from the side where you see this the side what's that called? That's what's that phrase called where you see the side of somebody? Profile. You see the profile of the monster. He's just snickering at me. Shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, you see, I know words.
Yeah, you got me convinced. I don't know who you're trying to argue with here.
Anyway, you see the profile of the monster, and I think Bruce is shooting his blue acid flame at the monster, and so you just see the blue acid flame consume the monster from the side, and for some reason the visual of it was it was really cheesy, and like it looked like it was made for like no money, but I liked the way it looked because it really reminded me of, for just a split second, of like Psycho Goreman and that kind of cheesiness. And then it just made me like you said, I wish they would have leaned more into the goofiness of it, but that moment looked aesthetically like a Roger Corman B movie of the 80s, and I liked that moment.
So wait, what was the deal with the part at the end when like it seems like the main spider monster is down and then like a whole person comes out of it? Was that Stanley? Is that all that was?
I don't know, because nothing ever happened with that.
Well, no, because we see Stanley at the end when Bruce Willis is gonna like kamikaze himself on the ship.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, he uses the Stanley persona probably because that was, I mean, probably the actor that was still there.
he was just around hanging with Crafty, so they brought him back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. Like after a certain point, like I just gave up on trying to follow the movie and was just like, sure, this is. And so then
the ending, though, we got to talk about the ending. So Noah and he wakes up Haley, the girlfriend, and she is actually relatively unfazed, also like her father. Like she's kind of stressed out about it, but then she's like, oh, I'm just gonna like, fuck up this zombie thing and like fight it, which at first I was a little jarred by her being a sudden badass, but I kind of get it, given that she's the daughter of the admiral. I kind of get it,
I guess. I don't know, like I need some explanation there. The admiral didn't do anything that badass.
Yeah, true. He didn't. But anyway, so Noah and her, they like escape the ship. Bruce, we think is dead, but he comes back. He's alive. He helps him escape. Then he blows up the ship.
Head hologram? We didn't even talk about that. Like,
the head hologram. Yeah. There's like a head hologram.
They very clearly just wanted as much Bruce Willis as they could get into this movie. But like, Bruce Willis ain't going to crawl no vents no more. Like those days are behind him. And so what they do is they basically just, anytime Noah or like any other character they know we don't care about is like doing something, all of a sudden Bruce Willis will just pop up in a hologram form. Sometimes it's his full body, but usually it's his disembodied head. And
it's blue.
And it's blue and it's a hologram. And he's just like, hey kid, turn left. Like just like these like really confusing like metrics that like there are times when it makes no sense too. Like at that one point when they're interrogating Teak and Noah's like crawling through the vent, every once in a while Bruce Willis's head will just pop up and tell him like where to go or what to do. And it's just like, are you telling me like you're stopping interrogating Teague when he's telling you where these aliens are coming from to tell a guy to turn left in a vent, or like to tell him to like pause for a second? Like your attention span is ridiculous right now. Like there's
that confused me so much. Like I thought, like I wasn't sure, like the cutting of that was confusing too. Like he was in the midst of interrogating Teak, and like we'd cut to the vent and see like the head pop up. I'm like you're right. Like, is he stopping? Like for a while I was thinking like, is this an AI?
For me,
like, did he program an like artificial intelligence head of himself?
That would have made so much more sense, Joe. You're
didn't say that.
You're describing a better movie. That's That's the problem.
I am.
You are now in real time writing a better movie than what we saw. And if I can add to it, I think the funnier thing to do would be it like show Bruce interrogating Teak and then just like, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go left. Okay. Now go straight. Now wait. Somehow I know there are 2 monsters under you. Okay. They don't see you. Go. All right. Hey, buddy. Where did these aliens come from? Like, that would have been amazing if they like actually showed in real time how this whole sometimes Bruce Willis is interrogating someone, sometimes he's giving vent directions that they also don't explain how he knows. Like, just imagining that scenario is so much better than like a lot of what this movie gave us. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wish we'd have seen that. Anyway, the ending. We got to talk about the ending when the 2 finally get on New Earth after they've been rescued or like they escape the ship. They see right away a child, I think, who turns out to be infected by the alien goo, which they kill, and then they see in the distance like a kaiju version of the monster they just fought, and they're like planes and shit that are like trying to fight it also. So they're kind of like, what do we do? And then I think it ends do they say anything after they say what do we do?
Burn them all credits.
Burn them all. That's right.
Yeah.
Burn them all credits. Yeah. And then her water breaks right away too, right?
That was so stupid. Like
she wasn't even that pregnant.
Yeah, she was like maybe like 6 months pregnant. Like that's like a scary scenario, actually.
Yeah, that's
like,
not good.
If anything, like the stress of the situation, like and like maybe just like being like abruptly woken up from cryo sleep.
Yeah, maybe that's realistic, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's sad. Like honestly, like I hopefully like her and the baby make it, but they're not setting up a good situation for that. Yeah, that was oh man, that was bad. It just they didn't bother explaining how the alien got there. Maybe the alien beat them there. It just they don't ever have any kind of communication with anybody off the ship, which was like weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't they just talk to New Earth?
And then like you said, like they immediately kill that girl, but like bullets are very elastic in this movie, where like sometimes it's all you need to like incapacitate or kill these aliens, and then other times it's like there was that point when Stanley is like unloading a clip into a possessed dude, like from like a foot away, every bullet is entering this dude and it does nothing, and he gets like a fist through his body for it. And then they just like double tap this little girl and she goes down. It was so confusing what we're supposed to understand of this world.
Right. I think that I feel like the implication is that every like generation ship that's gone, somebody has smuggled one of those aliens on.
That's okay. I could see that actually.
Or at least that's what I would have gone with if I
again. You're right now hypothesizing a better movie than what we saw.
Yeah, I like the idea of kaiju monster though. I think that's interesting.
Kaiju monster's cool, and like it lends to the idea of like they've implied that this monster can do a lot, and we've only seen a fraction of it. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's so much more we could talk about, like that random leather jacket dude that like he's in the hallway with all the other coworkers that like. So like, there's like 5 or 6 people that know what's going on at the beginning of the movie with the aliens, and there's like the rest of the crew that's awake is just like locked in their room and have no idea what's happening, and then all of a sudden the doors open and like. They all see the aliens coming at them, and like there's the leather jacket dude for some reason survives it. I don't think they explain how, and he gets on an escape shuttle even though they are like hundreds of millions of miles away from Earth or New Earth. So it's just like he was just gonna like wing it in a escape pod, and then he gets in the escape pod and he gets out there, but then one of the aliens is with him, which I just didn't understand why any of that happened.
I totally forgot about that part.
It wasn't a character that like anybody like sat with long enough to care what happened to him. And that storyline went nowhere. I guess it was trying to show like, okay, like if you're wondering what would have happened if somebody got an escape pod, I wasn't, you know, you did a good job writing it out as an option when you said that they're hundreds of millions of miles from anywhere. I don't need to see beyond that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. That was weird. You know, speaking of escape pods, Khalid.
Yeah.
In a scenario such as this, a bear might use an escape pod, don't you think?
There's a lot of things that would have to line up for this to make sense for the bear to do, but sure.
That's a segue to the 4 bears test.
Okay. 4 bears test. It's what it sounds like. What happens if you replace the monster with 4 bears? We've kind of done this with the Thing and stuff like that. Just like anytime a monster can possess somebody. We did it with the Angel episode, actually. Yeah, a bear can't trick you into thinking it's a person that you know. I guess it only really needed to trick Ortega, that one girl who got like bashed against the wall. That would have been way more gruesome if they shot it differently. I think a lot of what really took me out of this movie was the sound design sucked. So like you just a lot of the times it's like very sparse like sounds anyway, versus like if you had like gotten it into the hands of a pro, they would have like made like when Blue grabs Ortega by the head and like repeatedly smashes her against the wall, like there's a way to make that like scrunchy or like crunchy, squealy, like just like gross, you know? And it looked like a doll. It looked like a doll getting bashed against the wall. But outside of that, it didn't really need to pretend to be a person to do what it needed to do. So I guess like if you exclude that part of it and you're just talking about like the threaded poses, yeah, this is a ship full of stupid people. So like 4 bears attacking them could probably do a lot of damage and destroy them. Assuming that planet full of people, New Earth, is equally like occupied by dumb people, then again, 4 bears could probably just like make quick work of a lot of them. But no, there's like, they said there's like 50 million people there. So like even 50 million stupid people could take out 4 bears. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fail. I don't care. This movie, like this is too fun of a thought exercise for this movie.
It doesn't deserve the 4 bears test.
Yeah, my answer is I don't care.
And it's our first IDC.
What about you, Joe? Do you care enough to say if it passes or fails?
Nah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Screw this movie.
Yeah. Speaking of screwing things, Khalid.
Oh my god, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, would you fight or would you flirt with this monster?
I'd fight it because I'm not an idiot, and I would immediately think of the metal eating cleaning solution that we for some reason have in a fucking storage closet. That's the first thing I would think of, especially because they don't even get weapons until like all the security get killed, I thought that was rude as hell. At the beginning of the movie with the alien is like when they don't know it's an alien, but they know that like one dude exploded and another person like was like brutally like bashed against a wall to death. At that point, why isn't it just security going around looking? Like they're making everybody look, including custodians, unarmed. That's bullshit. Like at that point, I would have the goddamn acid with me. Like you're not gonna make me like walk. You're gonna make me walk around looking for something unarmed, like that's killing people. That's like you. You're an idiot if you do that. And yeah, I'm not a smart person. I will never sit out like on this like podcast and like pretend to be smarter than I am. But you tell me that there is a cleaning solution that is so corrosive it'll eat through metal in seconds, and I have like easy access to it. Most threats, I'm going to use that against it. Like just Yeah, no, I'm fighting this thing. It's so easy to fight. It's so easy to fight.
So easy to fight.
Whatever. If we give it like the actual like second to entertain it or whatever, like this monster doesn't communicate. Like anytime anybody tries to do anything with it, it just like does that annoying thing where it like opens its mouth and like the gross the guy from Kiss, what's his name? Like the Gene Simmons, like
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, that Gene Simmons tongue comes out, and that's it. Other than that, like it does, like I don't know, like it's just that just sounds like a bad date, you know?
Was
like,
the tongue? So the monster was like a bunch of body parts. Was the tongue all of the tongues of people put together?
No, it was just in Stanley's mouth. So how could that be?
Really? No, the end monster.
Oh.
The one was the giant monster at the end, because it also had a big tongue. Remember that? Was that everyone's tongue?
I don't know, man. Like that, you're talking about a point in the movie when I had just given up. I had just.
But yeah, you're right. The parasite people, the zombies parasite people, had big tongues too.
Yeah, like they had like really long, like squirmy tongues or whatever. Which I don't know. Like if it's like. That's definitely in the monster's like favor as far as whether or not I would flirt with it. But again, like the communication is not there. It's non-existent. It's
and
can't
do much there.
And I know for a fact I can kill it. Like flirting is really a survival tactic. If I don't think that there's any conceivable way to beat the monster, they immediately presented a way to beat the monster and then pretended that like nobody would think of it.
Yeah. Oh my God, this acid works.
Oh my God, this movie. All right. Yeah, whatever. What about you, Joe?
No, I am with you. It does not seem that difficult to win. Like I'm going to say right now that I really wanted to like this movie more because I liked the idea of space horror. Like I'm into that concept. I loved Pandorum. When we did Pandorum, we got to talk to the writer of Pandorum back several episodes ago. That was a blast. I want more movies like that because it's like spaceships are ripe for like monsters attacking you. I think that's great. It's like haunted house in space. Like you could do a lot of cool stuff with that.
It's scarier than a haunted house.
Yeah,
like
absolutely, because you can't even just go to a neighbor.
No,
like you can't leave, like physically, and so there's so much opportunity here for more space horror to be out there, and there really isn't a lot out there. And I wanted this to be an example of something like, it was a good B-grade movie of what you could do with this genre. But we don't see it. And I'm wondering if it's just so many things are afraid to try to be like compared to Alien. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's the gold standard. It's hard to beat. But I'm fine with cheesy B movies trying this out, but try a little bit harder.
Again, this wasn't a B movie, Joe. This was
a D movie. Sorry,
best a D movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I'm not answering your fight or flirt question, Cleve. I'd fight it, but I'm just expressing that disappointment.
Well, you know what, Joe? So, like, I think as many episodes as if we've gone through this, we're allowed to just rip into one, especially if it merits it.
Yeah. But no disrespect to our boy Bruce.
No, Bruce, you already know you can't be touched. You have a much earned retirement. I respect that you this late in the game took on all these projects that like were very clearly for a check. Why not? Like if I'm at your age, like fully healthy or not, and I'm being offered $1 million to just like say some like doofy bullshit in a bad movie, I'm gonna do it. $1 million per? Yes, I'm gonna do it. So
for sure.
You get no judgment from me. This does nothing to tarnish your impeccable legacy as an A-list Hollywood figure.
Yeah. And I heard that he had said like a long time ago that he hates the press scene, the Hollywood press scene and promoting movies. And he just kind of wants to work and act and do his thing and then go home. And this is like kind of a perfect avenue for that, where you could just like show up, get a check, don't have to do promo. And then,
nobody's asking about Breach. Nobody's trying to sit down and like unpack Breach.
Yeah. So
except us now. God
I guess us.
Damn
yeah.
it.
We might be the only ones doing it, because I tried to do research into this movie, like pull up details, and there was not, I didn't find anything. Like all of the stuff I found about the monster was pulled from dialogue. I couldn't find background stuff.
See, everything you're saying is just like convincing me this is all just like some weird tax scheme. Like like a way to like just dump money into something and like not report it to the IRS.
Could be. But
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
Yeah.
We talked breach.
we made it. Maybe if you made it this far in the episode, you can just close your eyes and pretend we were talking about Fifth Element.
Yeah, the movie Joe should have picked with all of his good intentions of like doing a Bruce Willis episode. Oh, I can't think of any Bruce Willis movies with like monsters or like creature designs that we could talk about. But you know what my favorite Bruce Willis movie is? Like, that's you, Joe. That's you this episode.
I mean, it's a fair impression.
Yeah. Thank you.
My inflections sounded similar to that in that moment.
It was mind-boggling. You like whipped it out too. Like it was like such a just like hell yeah moment for you of like, oh, I do have a favorite Bruce Willis movie. You're never gonna believe it.
It's a good movie.
Yes, Joe, it is a good movie. Would have been great to get into it.
Well, we still can. We still have more podcasts to go.
Very true. God willing, Joe bothers to remember it's a movie after this episode.
Oh, I will. It's recorded now.
Okay.
Shall we move to our final segment of the episode?
Yes, let's put this to bed.
We're gonna our final segment of our Frankenstein's podcast episodes is where we share something that we're both into at the moment that we think you listeners might enjoy. The segment we like to call "What the Fandom." I'll lead What the Fandom with you.
I love that wind up; it never gets old.
Gotta do it every time.
You do. So my What the Fandom this week is something that, unlike this movie, everyone can enjoy. It is the newest comedy special from comedian Gerard Carmichael. It's actually, I believe, his third special. It's on HBO right now. It's called Rothaniel, and it is amazing. It is a very, even calling it a stand-up special is not really like explaining it in a way that does it justice. It's for the most part, it's like the closest thing I can describe it to is like it's a really intimate one-man show that like leans comedic. The big thing about it, the big headline about it, which is not really a spoiler, like pretty much as soon as it came out, everybody was talking about it, is that Gerard Carmichael actually comes out as homosexual in the special, which up until now was not common knowledge. So a lot of the special really deals with that, but he does it in such a fascinating way, which like I won't spoil it, but like he really like tackles what coming out, especially at his age, he's in his mid-30s, what that looked like, and like all of the people that were important in his life, like really get a spotlight in like how they reacted to it and how it affected him and how it continues to affect him. And the way it was directed, Bo Burnham directed it. And he's actually been, outside of 8th grade, he's been directing some comedy specials. I know he also did Chris Rock's Tambourine, which came out a few years ago, which that was also a fantastic special. But the way it was directed is like this like really moody blue light kind of like over the entire thing. There's a real like tight close-ups, but like they're from a like low angle, and it really feels inviting in a lot of ways, and you feel like you're really up there on the stage with him at times when he's like in real time processing these like very heavy emotions and thoughts. And I know I'm making it sound like it's like you're gonna have to like sit through like an August Wilson play or like something like dramatic, and it kind of is sometimes, but for the most part, I'm telling you, like he will make you laugh like really hard, but it's like in a way that like you keep letting your guard down because he's letting his guard down. And it's a cool format. Like the audience gets to shout things out, and he like has a conversation with them, which lends an air of unpredictability to it. I could go on. Rothaniel, it's on HBO. Gerard Carmichael, probably one of like the most interesting creatives that we have in the game right now, just in general, like as far as art goes. He is always doing something that's worth checking out, and this is no exception. Yeah, do yourself a favor and check it out. Joe, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. I will follow up yours just briefly, just to say, like a piggyback fandom. If you haven't checked out the Carmichael Show, go give that a watch. It's gone way too soon back when it was done, but great show.
It is amazing. It is right up there with some of the best Norman Lear sitcoms of yore, and it's just, the cast is nuts. Like you see some of the people in there and like what they've gone on to do since then, and it's just like it was lightning in a bottle in a lot of ways. It's right up there with like Community for me in terms of sitcoms that just like I just go back to as comfort food regularly.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. So watch the special and go back and check out his sitcom, The Carmichael Show, too. Anyway, my fandom for today, I'm gonna hop us over to the literary world, and I'm gonna recommend a book. I just wrapped up the first of a duology series called The Clocktar Wars, or The Clocktar War, and the first book is called Clockwork Boys by T. Kingfisher. And I actually recommended a T. Kingfisher book in the past. It was called The Twisted Ones. It was like a horror book, but this is her foray into the fantasy world. And I actually think she's written more fantasy, but not. I shouldn't say foray, but it's a really it's a cool take on the genre. It's essentially it follows kind of this motley crew of characters: a paladin, an assassin, a forger, and a scholar, who are leaving this town to travel, like, fantasy quest style, to another like kind of foreign city to figure out how this like other city creates these like mechanical robot warriors, because they're fighting a war with this other city, and they have these robot warriors, and they're those robots are kicking our ass. We don't know how they're made. We don't know if they're magic. We don't know if they're machines. We don't know if they're creatures. What are they? They're just described as having gears that power them. So they're kind of these monstrosities that are like centaur like robots. So they're going to try and figure that out. But it's very comical, and the characters are really dimensional in a lot of ways. There's some cool concepts, like the characters are all like indebted to the government in some way, so they have to go on this mission. Then they have these like tattoos on their arms that are carnivorous. So if they stray from the mission, the tattoos start to like slowly eat them. So it's a pretty gnarly concept, and there's some weird creatures and weird things. Like I can feel like echoes of her horror writing and some of the weird creatures we see in the story. But the thing about this book is it actually ends in a place where there isn't any resolution. So you kind of have to jump right into book 2. So I haven't started book 2 yet. So I don't quite know the conclusion of the story, but I'm really excited to jump into it. So I would recommend, if you're interested in a good fantasy book with some weird concepts that doesn't really fall into the norm of epic fantasy, check out Clockwork Boys by T. Kingfisher.
All right, there you have it. Rothaniel and Clockwork Boys. Check them out. Yeah. So this has been another episode of Frankenstein's podcast. Listen to us wherever podcasts are available, and please remember to rate, review, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Joe, we have a fun review that we never read, don't we?
We do have a pretty fun review. We got it a little bit ago. I want to say it might have been
maybe like a month now.
Maybe a month ago. I will pull it up. We like to read your reviews. If you guys rate and review us, we will read it. And we got one that was from Tequila Gundam.
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is. Titled, "These Ladies Know Their Pies." The review goes as follows. Been a long time listener, and it has been worth it. So many good recipes: pumpkin, apple, chicken pot pie, key lime, it goes on. I haven't had cherry pie this tangy since I was a teenager. The hosts are great fun, too. Sarah Lynn seems like such a handful, but Irlene managed to keep her on task and a great listen. Chemistry, guess too. Loretta always makes for a good episode. Barb Glancet is so informative. Others, too. I don't like Pam. I tried to get my granddaughter Kristen to listen, but she is rebellious. That's okay. I know. Jesus will win. Her back. Can't go wrong with Francine's Piecast. Listen now.
I don't care for Pam.
I lost it. I don't like Pam.
So yeah, that was a fun, cheeky review from guest and friend of the cast, Jim Tandberg. Being real funny.
You spoil it.
Yeah, spoiler. I don't know who I was saving that for. Yeah, but no, that was fun. But yeah, even if you want to do a goofy review, honestly, I prefer a goofy review in that vein.
Me too. Either that or leave us like a review just sharing like your favorite monsters or monsters you'd like us to cover in the future.
Yeah, we would prefer that. So yeah, I don't think Joe and I are good at taking compliments. So something like that is ideal. But yeah, thank you, Jim, for that awesome review of Francine's Piecast. I'm honestly mad that that's not what this is. There's no world in which I would have had to talk about Breach if that was the podcast.
We're coming close to being a piecast with all the food talk and SodaStream talk.
You know what? I'm going to start getting into pie making just to steer us closer to it.
Yeah, it's going to be half pie making, half monsters by next episode.
Yeah, and Pam, if you're listening, that's just one listener's opinion. Don't take it too hard. We love you. We would love to have you back as a guest. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening to another episode of Frankenstein's podcast. I believe we're going to do Girl in the Woods next, but who knows? Maybe that'll just be a running joke where I keep saying that's the next episode.
I think we actually are now.
Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys. And until next time, creep it easy.